Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News, beautiful people. I am your host, Lawrence Johnson. We back like cook crack on this fine Monday. I had a terrific time in Miami. I wish the world had a terrific time, but no, it's been going towards hell, as usual for the last whoever knows how many months. Honestly, years at this point in time. So, we back hating, as always, and start right off the rip with the Blue and Whites, our supposed greatest ally. What did they do this time? Well, they bombed the hospital. Not once, twice. Double tapped that joint. And at first, they wasn't going to admit to it. But then, surprise, surprise, little did we know, there was literal live footage. Palestinians and Gaza news networks were literally filming live as the rescue team was going to rescue journalists and civilians that were bombed in that hospital. And what happened? Another missile strike. Play that real quick. And I'm sorry, that may have been graphic, but people need to see this is what they are doing. That is a war crime out loud in broad daylight. And then the IDF had the audacity to say, oh, my bad, that was an accident. An accident? How do you bomb a hospital 2 times as an accident? With journalists and civilians in there, while news is live broadcasting. So you're telling me no one over there was checking to be like, okay, is anybody news watching? Clearly not, because you guys bombed them, so clearly you guys did not care about anything. But that's the thing. Anyone that knows anything about missile strikes, I've never been to the military, but I know a thing or two. One, you have to have exact coordinates. It's not like you just launching a missile and it just goes anywhere. And 2, to hit the exact same spot twice is technical. That takes high-powered weapons. That takes accuracy. It's not a mistake. You understand what I'm saying? And obviously, the IDF puppets and all those people try to say, oh, well, you know, Hamas is burying tunnels underground. There was no tunnels here. They've already admitted that there was no tunnels here. What did they say was the reasoning behind this bombing, now that obviously it was caught on camera? Well, they said we were targeting a Hamas camera. What does that even mean? A Hamas camera. And they said it's unknown who set the target and who said the okay, let's bomb this, not once, but twice. A hospital with journalists and civilians in it. And this is what the U.S. tax dollars are supporting. Like, we funded that missile. Like, your and I dollars were part of the missile that hit this and killed innocent people. It was started out at 14. I think the death count is at like 20 and counting. And at least 4 journalists killed. One of them being this phenomenal photographer who's been documenting this since day one. She's put her life on the line, literally. And that's the thing. Now that it's caught on camera, you see how they didn't even have time to try to say, oh, well, we were targeting a Hamas leader. No, A Hamas camera is what they went with. And they killed journalists and civilians. They shot it twice. I can't get over the emphasis. You missiled it twice. And the second time was caught live on camera, like during a news feed. They're talking about, wow, we just got struck. The rescue team is in to save them, and they bombed it again. The world needs to send the military to the blue and white country and immediately take Netanyahu, throw him out, arrest him, Nuremberg trials, most likely sentenced to death, and then we start from a coup d'etat all the way in and out. Palestinians get their land back and start to rebuild, and they obviously need some sort of reparations. So maybe all the reparations from Germany and from the U.S. that Israel has been getting should be passed on to them. And then on top of that, Israel should do their own type of reparations for the Palestinians and Gazans. But, you know, that will never happen. Because what has happened since the bombing of this hospital? Silence. Other than from certain networks, obviously, that they have to report because it was caught live on camera. So you can't avoid it. But if you think about people in our government, in our Congress, anyone in the House, the committee, not a peep. And Donald Trump, he was asked directly about it. And what did he have to say? Nothing out of the ordinary.
If we could get your reaction, sir. The Israelis bombed a hospital in Gaza that killed 20 people, including 5 journalists.
When did this happen?
This happened overnight, today.
I didn't know that.
Any reaction to this? Are you
Well,
going
I'm
to
not
talk
happy
to
about it. I don't want to see it. At the same time, we have to end that whole nightmare. I'm the one that got the hostages out. I got them out, all of them. Steve Witkoff has been amazing. He's done a great job. But I'm the one that got them all out through my people and through me. And now we're left with probably a little bit less than 20 because I think 1 or 2 are gone.
I know nothing about that. How you don't know that your greatest ally just bombed a hospital 2 times? And then the fact that, oh, I'm not happy about it. We needed all the stop. I tried to stop it. I got the hostages out myself. Like, all of a sudden, he just starts taking credit for everything and bragging about himself. It's like, no, wait a second. Whoop, throw the flag. Let's review the play. Your buddy, the one that you just called a war hero, bombed a hospital 2 times and killed a bunch of civilians and journalists. That is a war crime. Someone needs to go to prison for that. Or someone needs to pay for that. You understand what I'm saying? An answer of, we don't know who okayed the strike, not once but twice, is not sufficient enough. That makes 0 sense. I don't understand. Like, we should be sending troops right over there right now. Like, oh, wow. And it's not like this was the first or the second or the third or the fifth or the sixth or the 7th hospital bomb. But this one was live on the news. They finally caught it on camera. See, most of the time, they report, and then IDF has time to say, oh, well, guess what? We were targeting a Hamas leader, and so we got him. They didn't have time for that. It was live in action. That news story broke immediately, and now they're scrambling, and they decided to say they were targeting a camera. A Hamas camera. I'm just trying to understand, like, what camera could possibly be so valuable that you need to missile a hospital twice? Like, you didn't destroy the camera the first time? Where was the camera at? Like, what is this Hamas camera? Like, I gotta know. Is this like an all-seeing eye camera that AI has just invented and they're the only ones that have it and you needed 2 missiles to take it out? To me, that just sounds like bullshit. It sounds like you was targeting civilians and journalists because you don't want the truth to come out. And you didn't realize that it was streaming from live television, and then, boom, caught red-handed. So yeah, people, share this, clip this, whatever you need to do, but this story needs to be out there and they need to pay. There can't just be another, oh, well, no one gets arrested. They already did that when they shot and buried a bunch of paramedics and 16 ambulances. So now we know. And you can't say you don't know because that's the thing. Strike. Like, it's on the comms. It's on the airwaves. You guys can figure out who said yes, but you choose not to. And that's why there's an ethnic cleansing and genocide going on, because you guys choose not to do a lot. You don't choose to give them food or aid. You choose to starve them. You choose to cut off electricity. And then your latest thing is you're trying to win over Gen Z and the millennials. And so what do? You literally show off a food aid site that does have food and does have water, and you fly a bunch of influencers out that are easily pandered and easily bought, fucking losers, fucking dweebs, and if you see them in this clip, go hate on them online because they deserve it. Now, take a look at this food aid place that they were just so graciously happened to come upon that supposedly Hamas is not letting them in or out.
An opportunity, but instead of Hamas distributing the ramen noodles, they're eating it all, and that's why their leaders are on Ozempic.
This is exactly Hamas's plan. To paint Israel as the perpetrator of all of this, when in reality, it's Hamas that continues to use its own people as pawns.
Like, how do you fly to Israel during the middle of ethnic cleansing and then go to sleep at night while also promoting the bullshit lies that they telling you to promote? Like, are you an actual human? That'd be like calling up Adolf and be like, hey, son, I see what y'all got going on over there in Germany, World War II, 1945. See, they telling us a lot of stuff. They telling you you're bad, and they saying that you're doing terrible things to people. So if you want me to fly over there and promote that y'all really doing good and that they're actually having some fun in these, extermination camps, I got you. And they did. They went over there and did that. And no, hold on. I still have some more to tell you about what they've been doing. Well, bulldozer, 8,000 olive trees and counting. Who does that? Well, people that are trying to complete an ethnic cleansing. Pretty obvious, I could see. It's like, to me, at least. I just don't understand. What could you possibly have to do with 8,000 olive trees unless you're trying to take land from them, right? That's the only literal answer that makes sense. So, that's what they're doing. And I showed you the video before of there's people that are already on this land, and when they try to fight back, what happens? The guy got his legs shot off. His son got beat up. So did his wife. No one was arrested. And then the IDF said, well, that was a well-executed thing. We had to do that. I mean, he was touching our poles that were on his land. People, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. This shit is crazy. Netanyahu and his other warmongering genocidal buddy, they went on TV and said, oh yeah, so we bombed the presidential palace of the Houthis in Yemen, and if they keep on fighting back and there's more missiles sent, firstborns will be next. So literally threatening children on air. And this is a different country. So if they're willing to threaten those kids, you're telling me the kids that they're killing in Palestine and Gaza, they're not doing that on purpose? Interesting. I don't know, people. Lots just not lining up right now. But you know what is lining up? People to see and scavenge for Mamdani. My boy cooked up this weekend. It's so funny. I mean, he didn't cook with his lifting weights. He tried to go hit 135, broke it up, not even do that one time. But Eric Adams, dumbass and dweeb, he decided, well, man, this is a show of strength. You see what I'm doing. He showed a video of him actually doing benches. And then Andrew Cuomo said, look at this weakling. And he didn't even show himself doing stuff. And so Cuomo, Adams, let me just shine some light. You guys are idiots. Nobody actually cares if this man can bench or not. It's the fact that he's out in the community having fun. And then the scavenger hunt, you guys still try to shit on it, even though he literally showed you that he brought together the community of New York, thousands of people, basically bringing Pokemon Go to the polls. He's showing I can bring out people in the masses in New York. He's going to run away with this race. And what are people getting mad at him about? Sorry, there were so many people trying to get clues that we have to shut this down by 7 p.m. and we'll pick up again tomorrow. And now they're saying, oh, well, he's giving promises out that he can't keep. You guys are real fucking desperate, are you? It's kind of sad, to be honest with you. He has zero shot. If you think about Cuomo and you think about Mayor Adams, they're done. Why? Because this man understands how to talk to millennials and how to get in touch with Gen Z while also staying very current and showing I'm all about New York City. People are on Twitter talking about, wow, I've never seen this part of New York. I'm taking a bunch of new pictures. I've stopped the scavenger hunt, but this is amazing. We need the rest of the country to start being more like Mamdani. I mean, he's 33. He's only a couple years older than me. So I'm like, oh, man, damn. I could be doing this by 33 if I really needed to. I got some comedy stuff I want to do, but we need younger politicians in politics, 1,000%, because they understand what we the people want. Not funding wars, not funding war in general, and more focus on here. We look at China and we're like, damn, that's mad nice. I saw some dude on TikTok, Brad goes to China or Brad lives in China, and he was showing off this kid's play place. And I don't know if we can link the video. It's a mad long video. Maybe you could just play it while I'm talking. But it's this place of amazing opportunity, of free entry, I might add, which in America would probably cost like $35 a head, or maybe it was like $5, whatever. Very cheap. But as he's taking you around this tour, it's kids learning to do fun things. Like I remember my museum, all we had was the grocery store where you could check out, check in, buy some fake groceries. No, they have fake car washes here. They have fake dentists. They have, you want to be a car mechanic? You can roll under the hood. They even put a little Tesla car there. They have video games. They have puzzles. They have Legos. They have things that kids want to engage with and have fun with, but also learn at the same time. What does America have? School shootings. And what do? We have school shooting trainings where dudes fire despots. Go ahead, run that clip real quick.
I want you to remember everything that we've talked about. When an active shooter event happens, it can happen in an instant. You never.
Somebody get the gun.
Yeah, buddy right there in the gray all the way to the left that immediately drops to his ass. Yeah, pack it up, send him home. Are you shitting me? The fact you guys even have to have a gun training thing in schools where it's like, I know this is crazy, but you never know when a gunman's gonna run in there. Well, in every other country in the world, that never happens. That's only here. So, I mean, I don't think I need to explain, but I'll tell you one thing. That clip right there, that's not how that shit's supposed to be executed. That's for show. Because it's like, gun goes off, why y'all running? You're supposed to get the perpetrator. Dude talking about, somebody get the gun. You grab it. You right there. Talk about somebody get the gun. Nigga, you see yourself? It's in arm's reach already. Moving on to our orange buddy Trump. What has he been up to? Well, he says he's going to start deploying the military more places. I know, right? For what? Why? Strictly for vibes. He's trying to show off his power. He said next up is Chicago. So he's just going to send the National Guard to Chicago and then possibly New York because we have to clean up the city. I mean, my boy is just militarizing our own military against us. And supposedly, I guess, D.C. is now much safer. But it's just like, when did this become the norm? When before, All the right-wing puppets used to be like, well, if they ever militarize against our people, if we ever send troops into my city, I'm using my Second Amendment right, I'm meeting them with force. That has not been the case. A lot of y'all was capping. A lot of you guys is not built like that. I've come to find that out. Because you've always been talking about the Second Amendment. They there. The city's here. The cops are here. What do you mean the Second Amendment? But I guess, you know what? I can't call you all the way out because Trump, as you can see, continuously sends cops to blue areas that are against him. He doesn't send them to the leading murder rates, you know, in Mississippi, in Louisiana, and, you know, places that the murder rates are way higher. Maybe less people, but way higher murder rates. Why is that? Well, because they're red. And what are they going to do? Absolutely nothing. But ICE continues to just amaze me every single day with the clown show that they put on. Dean Cain, for example, former Superman, absolute loser and dweeb, he decided to go on Fox News and show off their training. Let's take a look at the training.
He was working hard out there, and this is exactly what those recruits will do as they're picked one by one. And they're at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia.
As you can see, he's showing off the ICE facility. Well, what I call a rigorous playground. I wouldn't even call it rigorous. I mean, this looks very easy. But he's making it look very difficult. Why? Because he's an unathletic fuck. And this is supposedly the training that ICE has to go through to get them stamped and then get their badge. Just like, it's pretty sad you have to pass a guy like that. He literally sucks as an athlete. He's old as hell. But I get it. You guys are desperate. And people that choose to be ICE most likely are desperate for power. As you can see, there's a civilian in this video that is literally just recording them and asking for their name and badge numbers. What happens after that? He's arrested. I know that should be illegal. Hopefully he's suing because he could win a lot of money.
Under arrest?
Yes, sir.
Dude, bring that arm back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting, sir.
I mean, hey, that looks like the Gestapo and looks like they're overdoing it if you ask me. But you know what? Who am I to judge? I know one thing I can judge off, though, tariffs. And what's happening? We're taking L's. What's John Deere doing? Laid off 230 people so far. Why? Because they've taken a hit of up to $300 million just in this year on tariffs. So now, I tell you again, who pays the tariffs? Us, the company. And if you think that $300 million is not going to be passed down to the consumer, newsflash, buddy, it is. Are you shitting me? That's going to be on our tab immediately. I mean, this shit doesn't surprise me at all anymore, but it does surprise me that people still don't really understand how the shit works. It's like, well, you know, just you gotta trust the process. There is no process. We are getting fucked. But you know who's not? Our buddy Trump again, because what he decided to do this time, take a 10% equity in Intel. I know, right? That's usually a socialist or communist move, but I guess when Trump does it, he's fine with it, and he's allowed to do it, and so are his supporters. Imagine if Biden or Obama or Clinton or basically anybody from the left was like, you know what? Yeah, the government, we're going to take a stake in this company, and we're going to start making money off of it. And, yeah, we're going to do with the money what we want to do, but you know what I mean? We're making bread now. People would literally be up in arms. They'd be freaking the fuck out. Like, holy, wait, this is communist. This is socialist. But when Trump does it, no worries. Just trust the process. When the process sounds like this, I'm sorry, I don't trust it.
During the campaign, you called Kamala Harris a communist, but the Biden-Harris administration, they never called for nationalizing a private company with the federal government like you're proposing with Intel. What do you say to some who say this is a bit hypocritical, and is this the new way of doing industrial policy?
Yeah, sure it is. I want to try and get as much as I can. If people come in and they need something, as an example, as a real estate person, if I have an agreement and I have any form of a stopgap where I can stop somebody from doing something, right? I have a covenant and an agreement, and they come to me and they say, would like to do something, but you have us restricted. If I do that, they usually have to pay. Now, in the case of Intel, it was interesting, but I hope I'm going to have many more cases like it. Intel came in. I met with the gentleman. I had a lot of respect for him. He came in under a little bit of a cloud. I liked his story. I thought he was good. I think he really means to do a good job with Intel. I said, I'd like to ask whether or not you'd give, you know, because the story, a lot of people said I invested in Intel. I didn't invest, but I invest my heart in it and my soul because I want the country to be strong. But I said, I'd like you to give 10% of Intel to the United States of America. Not to me, to the United States of America. And I said, if you have them as a partner, you have the United States as a partner, I think that would be a very good thing for Intel. And he thought about it a little bit different, and he said, I like that idea very much. We have a deal.
Oh, and our buddy Trump did not stop there. The next thing he wants is ABC and NBC's license revoked. I'm telling you, bro, this is Adolf 2.0. Anybody that reports news that he does not like, all of a sudden he's like, no, get him out of there. They are highly ranked and highly favored for whatever reason, but now their licenses should be revoked. Tell you people, day by day, dictatorship is on the way. I mean, we see it live in action. My best case and point towards to is the White House in general. Just pay attention. He's creating his own crib, own little event space, has his Mar-a-Lago flags. Now he's getting equity in different companies. He's selling his Trump coin. He's making deals on the side. If people bring him gold, don't worry about the tariffs. I got you. This man is running the country like it's his own business. I'm telling you, and he's trying to make as much money as he possibly fucking can before he dies. Which I wish was a little bit sooner than later, but unfortunately, I guess he's doing all right. But he's not doing that good because that right hand, he always, right around the 20th to the 26th, he starts putting a lot of makeup / a lot of things on that right hand because a lot of people think he's getting infusions. Conspiracy theory? I don't know. But I know one thing. He always struggles walking. He always struggles talking. And a lot of times it's just like, you sound like one of them old demented dudes that like you have good stories. You pretty funny. But like you shouldn't be at work or any position of power. That's for motherfucking sure. But we know who wants a position of power, and that's J.D. Vance. And what did J.D. do? Well, he just proved that he's incompetent and stupid. And when asked about the war and what we're doing, he decided to give a World War II example and how that ended with negotiations. Take a listen.
Kristen, this is how wars ultimately get settled. If you go back to World War II, if you go back to World War I, if you go back to every major conflict in human history, they all end with some kind of negotiation.
So, JD, what negotiations are you talking about exactly? You talking about Adolf, who decided to, cut off his own oxygen supply and, ended a little early? Or you talking about Japan? That, they decided to negotiate and were like, you know what? Thank you for sending that nuclear bomb. Not one, but two. That was the negotiations. Is that what the negotiations are talking about? Well, that was an atomic bomb. Another guy offed himself. Most people wouldn't call that negotiation. Most people call that action, military action, war action. The action we should be taking against the blue and white, but we choose not to because, we're funding an ethnic cleansing. But JD, you are a special type of idiot. Let me tell you. And to my people out there, I appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode of Iniquitous News. Don't forget to hate and subscribe every week, every couple days. I can't honestly imagine how many stories be coming down the pipeline where I'm like, wow, we are fucking cooked. But, it's all good because it makes content, unfortunately. And I have fun telling y'all about the bullshit that's going on. And I appreciate everybody that watched it this far or watched it all the way through and really get their nightly news, well, every 3 days news from me. And the fact that you be like tuned in, like, oh, son, I got caught up on the world with LJ, that's cool as fuck. And I appreciate y'all. Don't forget, stay Mephistophelian, iniquitous, and vociferous at all times. I'm going to see y'all Wednesday. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.